Good morning, FuturestraderElite here with NQ pre-market prep on 1023. Let's go on and pull this chart up, open it up, and let's bring this 1 hour chart here that we have. Let's clean it up a little bit. So to get started, we'll move this trend line. This will be our new 1 hour trend line down here. We had a pretty good pullback in the market yesterday. It was pretty volatile. And ATR got up there pretty good, especially on this drop right in this area. You see, we've had a lot of consolidation here on this 1 hour, and I kind of had a feeling that this might be coming. You know, what's in store here? We got this bounce. This is the new 1 hour. This is a 4 hour or 8 hour line down here, this green one. And then even bigger one down here. So, you know, this is a key area that I'm going to keep my eye on right here for sure. This imbalance zone needs to be filled, where you got this bounce and we're kind of curling now. Question is can we be saved in this area on this 1 hour line and drive this on up? Overall, I mean, we're still on the uptrend, so it's just been a wild one ever since we had that drop. But we are still on uptrend, so we'll see. You know, they keep putting in these higher lows right here, so it would definitely make sense for them to come down and tag this line right here around this yellow line, a previous all-time high. That is around 888, and you can see we got pierced it and went down to this one yesterday. I just don't know if we're going to do that. See, we'd have to hit that line. Otherwise, we're going to have to break the 1 hour and sweep that 1 hour line to do that if we get over too far in the day. Around the open of market is about, you know, right in this area somewhere. So that's what the 1 hour is telling us. We're not going to base any other thing off this 1 hour other than being able to save us as this one here. I doubt we'll get down here, but you never know. We can still get down to here, and it's still a higher low than this low. So, and if it happens anywhere in this area, let's say I got this blue line, which acts as some support, and you can see back here, we come down and it hit that in the top of this imbalance zone, and same thing here, pierced through it here, but when we got back out, it wicked out to that again. So if this were to come down that far, I'd be looking at first reaction to that line just as well as I would be this trend line. And I say that because even though that trend line's there, it don't mean it's got to hit it. And what if you got your order set there and it hits this line and then takes off 100 points the other way or 200? I don't want you to start chasing. If you had your orders on the line, on the trend line, and it barely got to this blue line or the top of this imbalance zone, you don't want to chase. If it turns around and it don't pick up your orders, you want to wait for the structure and momentum to the upside. You know, just don't start clicking. Wait till it sets up for break of structure and momentum, and then start working your way back up the chart, playing it that way. Let's move this down to the 15-minute. So, hadn't really done much overnight, it don't look like. We are in about 126. Yeah, we hadn't really done much. But here's the golden pivot. There's the golden pivot. Right here in the middle of the mix. So it's at 43.50. Golden pivot's at 61. So, you know, below the golden pivot's bearish. Above it, we'll be looking for bullish plays. We really need to take out this zone, excuse me. So we really need to we're going to have to take out this zone right here to really be bullish. We can get above this pivot and be looking for rejection right there. And then I'll tell you why. Yep, that's a perfect zone. We got rejection here. You can see it's break a structure in this area as well. And then this is that move we got a couple days ago, 2-3 days ago. I don't know if you guys remember this setup. This was first thing in the morning, right as the market was opening. We had put in this little U shape, and then it was setting up to break structure, and then, man, it opened up and took off. Even if we get above the pivot, you need to watch for first reaction short in this zone. That zone is 115 to 135. First reaction short zone. If there's a lot of momentum and everything else is looking pretty good, we still need to get above this box, consolidate. We got this box I just put on here, and then we got that zone box. I know it's small. I don't usually use them like that, but if it's on my chart, there must have been a reason when I put it on there, so it's going to stay for now. And you can see we got to right here, and it turned around. Even over here, it pierced through that little box, but then turned down. So I'm going to leave that there for now. Let's say that we were to get above that box today, and we can consolidate or pierce right through it. You're going to be looking at this zone box with these previous all-time highs, 178 inside that box and 196. So this would be a heavy rejection zone as well. Everything back up this chart is going to probably hold some heavy rejection, because we pierced right through this over here after we took a hard drop out of that area back here, and then pierced through all that back there on that Friday when that happened. So depends on what kind of momentum they can find. I would be thinking first reaction short into that zone, and into this green line, yellow line zone right up here, if we could get that back up that high, for sure. And then remember, if it does all this, you got break of structure plays right here around 140, up here around 192, inside this at 243, and so on. So it's just being able to find your key levels, going both ways on this chart. That way you can play both ways and capitalize on your gains. Let's look at this to the downside a little bit. Since we're under the pivot, we're going to take a box, a rectangle box, and we are going to put us a box around, let's say we're going to go from 960. We're going to go from 960 to 975, the bottom of the zone box, because we got a higher low, and they may act like they're going to sweep that, and this may all look bearish, and then it'll actually be a buy because they'll bounce it right here. So I'm going to be looking for a first reaction bounce out of this area, 960 to 975 if they get it down there. You can see this red line plays as some support. We need to get this imbalance zone off here. So we got that working for us. If we do break that low, if we break, say, 950 with some speed, you need to be thinking it's coming down here in this area to this trend line for sure, but it'll still be a higher low if we tag and bounce. So scenario here is if we drop down pre-market, or maybe when the market opens, first reaction bounce out of here. If we don't get that bounce, and sometimes you don't get the bounce you want, you get the bounce you get. So if you do take this trade, you may get a bounce, but you may only get 5, 10 points, maybe 15, instead of maybe 30 points or 50, whatever you might want. Because you would think it'd come down and bounce out of this box back to this red line, which would give you 50 points. So from the bottom of the box. But say you break through that box, coming to the downside, you take out 950 with some speed. You got to be thinking you're going to tag this line, maybe sweep this line, depending on where. Say it swept and hit this previous all-time high. But you're going to be thinking here that we're going to catch this bounce and take profit back up where this is at, this little box we put in right here. I'm about to give these boxes a name since I got so many boxes. Move this over a little bit. And so I think that's what we're going to be looking at there. I mean, look, this one pivots all the way down at 783. I know I played some good plays off in pivots yesterday. Had some people ask me how I knew something was going to bounce. Well, I pay attention to them pivots plus confluence of everything else going on. And just give you an example, say we cut through all this and they wanted to put in a lower low here or something. The fact that this S1 pivot is sitting at 783 and that low is at 803. Okay, I'm going to be thinking, depending on what everything else is looking like at the moment, for an initial reaction, I'm probably going to set some orders right on top of this, regardless, because I'm going to expect it to bounce. And it don't always work. Sometimes it pierces right through it or cuts it by 15 points or 20 or even more. It depends on what, if they're draining the market off or and everything else. You kind of got to feel what the market's doing that day before taking the trade. But I would think, oh, they're going to sweep this low and we got that pivot down here. You know, I'm gonna throw some orders there. Like I said, I might not get the bounce I want, but I'll have to take what I can get. And a lot of times I scalp out of them too fast and don't capitalize on my gains that I could have got because I was being too impatient. And next thing I know, it's way up here somewhere, and I missed the whole move. So I'm reevaluating my game plan because I done got out of the trade. So then I'm going to start playing breaker structures all the way back up, you know, or retest. I mean, you know, you got to wait and see whatever your feeling is for the market and how you want to play the plays that are before you. So everybody's trades differently. So you got to do what works for you. But those work a lot of times, but not every time. It's like everything else. Not every trade is going to be a winning trade. Let's move this down to the 5 minute. Excuse me. See what we got here. See, that's a whole lot of consolidating in this area here. You see that itty bitty box on there and it tagged it right there. Move down. It come up here and tagged it right there. I'm telling you, I don't know why I put that little zone box on there because I never do them that small, but obviously I did it for a reason. Can't tell you why now. It was a long time ago. All right, so I'm liking the way this is shaping up. We put them boxes on the higher time frame up here and down here that we're looking at. Let's keep our eyes on them, you know, and I'll update you live in the Discord if I see anything different before the market opens. And let's have a good trading day and stay safe. If this is your first time with us, hit that like and subscribe so you'll be notified on YouTube, and you can come join the Discord for free. Have a good day.